Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Sir, are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, the visibility is fine, sir.
Yes, madam.
Video is okay, sir.
Okay,
Should
madam.
Yeah. Go back just a little bit.
Just a little back.
Go back just a little. Yeah. Okay.
Now
okay.
it's okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So that your upper part, the head part, will not be affected. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Ramakrishnan, sir?
Yeah.
Shall we start, sir, then?
Definitely, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Sir, one small doubt. I have to press that share screen for my PPT. Other than the on the green
Yes,
color
madam.
share.
Okay. Yes, madam.
Okay.
You try, madam. You try, then we can start the meeting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll just try, sir.
Share screen, the
Okay.
Zoom control panel at the bottom. You can see the share screen.
அதுக்கப்புறம் ஷேர் கொடுக்கணும்ல சார்
already you should have opened the PPT.
ஆமா நான் டெஸ்க்டாப் ஓபன் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கேன். ஓகே அதுல ஷேர் கொடுக்கணுமா சார்?
Share screen, then you share that particular app alone. That is your PPT. Already opened PPT. No, that will be now visible.
Open. Okay. சார் இப்ப பாருங்களேன் உங்களுக்கு விசிபிளா இருக்கா?
இன்னும் வரல மேடம். அத டச் பண்ணிட்டு again கீழ ஷேர் ன்னு ஒன்னு இருக்கும் அதே விண்டோல. The same window, after selecting the app to be shared, then there will be a share. You click the share. Wait madam, now it will come. Wait.
Okay. Orange.
No, it is not.
சார் இப்ப
இல்ல மேடம் இன்னும் வரல மேடம் இன்னும் வரல. Share screen, select the PPT app in the window, then again share.
தெரியுதா சார்?
இல்ல மேடம்.
தெரியலங்கிறாரு சார். ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
First share screen, the green color share screen, within that one arrow mark, you click that, the window will appear which
green press பண்ணனும். அதுல இருக்கிற ஷேர் கிளிக் பண்ணனும்.
yes madam.
சார் இப்ப தெரியுதா சார்?
Now it comes madam.
It will come. எனக்கு வருது.
It will come. It will come. Yes madam. Now you have to go for the slideshow. Clicking the symbol, the bottom, there is a cup like symbol. You click that, the slideshow or F5. Simply you press F5. F5 of the keyboard.
Yes.
F5. First, maximize the window. Otherwise, you see, madam, then in the bottom there is a cup-like structure. Otherwise, you go to the home slideshow, then from the beginning. Yeah, that also a way. Click from beginning. Now you stop the share.
Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, madam. Now you muted yourself, madam.
Sir,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, madam.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the last final day of the webinar series, and from tomorrow we are going to miss our English department friends. Of course, the wonderful participants. Okay. However, I hand over the platform to the Department of English. I invite the HOD and the convener of the webinar series, Dr. Ramakrishnan sir. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Rahim. Good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 5th and final day of our webinar series. I take up this opportunity first to welcome Dr. Rahim, who is the IQAC coordinator of our college. I feel excited to welcome Dr. S. Chitra, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English, Bharati Women's College, Chennai, who is going to be the resource person for today's program. I extend my warm welcome to all my colleagues, and most importantly, I welcome all the participants who, most of whom have been with us for the past 5 days. Now, I would like to call Dr. S. Kamakshi, Assistant Professor of our department, to introduce the resource person to participants. Thank you.
Madam. Madam, you can, madam, now you already unmuted yourself. You can speak, madam.
Welcome, sir. My voice is audible, sir.
Audible, ma'am. Audible. Go ahead.
Sir, my voice is audible.
Yeah, now okay, ma'am. Now okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir. It is my immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Devanathan sir, in charge principal of our college, who is the silent spectator of all administrative work. Sir, I welcome you, sir. And it is my pleasure to invite our head of the department, convener of this webinar series, Dr. Ramakrishnan sir. I welcome you. Then next, IQAC director, Dr. Abdul Rahim sir, who enjoys extending his support to all participants, all people, all professors, those who are conducting this seminar. I welcome you, sir, and his team also, and department staff members, registered participants, YouTube participants. I welcome all participants of this webinar series, last day of this webinar. Now, it is my immense pleasure to introduce our speaker of this webinar series, Dr. S. Chitra ma'am, is Associate Professor and Head of the Department of English at Bharati Women's College, Chennai. Her doctoral thesis was on partition literature. Her areas of interest include Tamil women writers of the colonial and post-independent period, Vaishnavite literature, eco-criticism, disability studies, and translation. Currently, Madam is translating lectures for NPTEL course on disability studies into Tamil. Also, she has translated the play Pachamannu by A. Mangai. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of the Department of English, Presidency College. Now, I hand over this platform to Madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kamakshi, for those kind words about me. At the outset, I would like to thank the principal of Presidency College. I'd like to thank Dr. V.S. Ramakrishnan, head of the Department of English, for giving me this opportunity to address a lot of research scholars who are present here. I'd like to thank Dr. Rahim, IQAC coordinator, a very enterprising person right from the rehearsals we had the other day. It was wonderful working with you, Rahim sir, and all the other participants, and also my dear colleagues whom I know in Presidency. I welcome, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all. And as far as my topic today is concerned, I think I'm going to throw a lot of discussions to you regarding the current trends in literature. I'm not just going to simply talk about the theories and ideologies that have a lot of influence on the literatures and research that we have been conducting so far. But I'm going to throw a few questions. That is why I have titled my talk as with a typical Hamletian dilemma of to be or not to be, whether we are going to continue with this kind of research that we are proceeding with now, or whether we are going to take a paradigm shift or a change in the approach to the research. So basically, I will be starting with, these are all my own observations. I'm not going to quote from, say, any text or any theories, because all of you must have read so much of theories so far. So it is going to be a volley of questions that I'm going to just throw to you. And I would also like to say that I'm not insisting upon certain points or certain perspectives on you. It is just my opinion, and it is always open to everyone for discussion. So I think I will just begin my presentation now. Sir, I think I'm...
Screen is there, madam. You can show the slideshow also. Go for slideshow. Slideshow on the left last from beginning, from start. Slideshow.
Oh,
they are able to...
okay.
Yeah. Below the home, there is a play from start. Our PowerPoint window on left corner. PowerPoint window on the left corner. Below the home, there is a play from start. You double click on it. Double click on play from start.
Yeah.
There is a home. Now your cursor is there, madam. Home. Below that. Yeah, double click. Double click play from start. Double click below that. Below home. Play from start. Double click play from start. No, still left. 2 points left.
Yeah.
No.
Now it is visible, sir.
Now you have gone to the sorted view, madam. Preview. You went for the sorted view. Again, share screen. Madam, unmute yourself and speak, madam. You muted yourself. Yes, madam. The slide is coming, madam. Now maximize the window. Then go to the below the home. There is in the top of the PowerPoint panel, home, insert, design, transitions, animations. In the draw, below the home, you see below the home there is a play from start one cup like symbol. Double click on the cup like symbol, madam. Double click.
Play from start.
Play from start. From
double click. Okay. Double click.
Play from start. Double click. Double click. Mouse double click. Left mouse double click.
This is the starting.
Yeah, over, madam. Now you can go and you can go to the. If you want to go to the previous slide, use the left arrow key. You want to go. Yes, madam. And we want to forward. That is a right arrow key. That's all. Okay, madam. Okay, now it's okay. Now you are unmute yourself. That also you can use the cup like symbol, below, just left to the maximize. There is a cup like symbol. A cup-like symbol, and there are,
Okay.
or you try with the F5. Yes,
Shall
yes.
I just,
Now it is okay, madam. Now it is visible.
sir,
Okay,
if
madam.
this is
Okay,
becoming
madam.
difficult, shall I just present, sir? That will be okay, I think. I'll share Krishnan, sir. Okay, okay, okay. Now it is visible, sir.
Yes, madam. Visible, madam. You can proceed, madam, now. Now it is perfect, madam. You proceed, madam, please, now.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Participants, there was a small technical glitch. I'm not really good at it. So the title of my uh, presentation is "To Be or Not to Be: Critical Theories and Current Trends in Research." The first point I would like to make is de-theorizing the research content. I mean that should be really move away from the to look into our literary subjects, and many scholars, they start focusing more on the theories rather than the content analysis that were done in those days. So whether we have to move away from this a particular regular pattern of employing the theories, or focus more on content analysis, because I feel that most of the theories that we employ for this analysis is best oriented, and also these theories can definitely support your framework of your argument, no doubt about it, and to develop perspectives also. But we should not sort of struggle to pigeonhole or dump all the literary work into a particular theory. That is what I think the scholars should mainly try to avoid. And instead, it can be argumentative, and also recent, to give you one personal experience. I think all the scholars must be focusing on the Turnitin and the other plagiarism check app also. When we were using Turnitin to check one of the research articles, what happened was like my particular quote from Chatterjee.
I think some connectivity issue with the internet connection. Madam will rejoin. Unmute yourself, madam, please. Madam, unmute yourself and speak. Because of connectivity issue, you temporarily logged out and then logged in. Now unmute yourself and speak, madam, please. Unmute yourself, and presentation also you have to do.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, shall I simply present myself? I think that will be better, because this is really, I think we are sort of wasting time on this.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Shall I simply present myself, sir?
Ramakrishnan,
Okay,
sir.
okay, sir. Okay. So, shall I start, sir?
Yeah, ma'am, you go ahead, ma'am. நீங்க வந்து present பண்ணுங்க போறோம். No need of
No need of PPT. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Shall I continue?
You continue,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. So the first, okay, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. So the first point is de-theorizing the research content. So we have to be very careful when we are using these theories, because in the Turnitin plagiarism app, we already stored materials about research theories, which another scholar would not have quoted it properly, and they would have in fact plagiarized it as their own. But what happens is, when you load your own research article, your properly quoted, not unplagiarized content becomes plagiarized. So we have to be very careful when we are using theories in this particular context. And the second point which I just wanted to focus on will be the gaining momentum of the in-between space. Here I just wanted to talk about the Derridian concept of the margin and the center. So I feel that foregrounding of the binaries, such as the colonizer and the colonized, oppressor and the oppressed, and all these things had sort of led to looking into various types of marginalized issues. And again, I have certain points to convey to my research scholars here. You have to look into the this particular idea of whether we are stereotyping vulnerability here by constantly focusing on, say, resistance, suffering, and other types of stereotyping, say, the sufferings and other marginal identities, whether we are doing that. So we have to be very careful in not stereotyping them, and also voicing for the voiceless. These had been types of say research content that had been coming out for such a long time. So you can just think about whether we can come out of these binaries and think in a different way, giving the required space for each and every identity, whether that is possible. And the next point is again, whether it is undermining the marginalities rather than accommodating them. So this is another doubt I have. By constantly focusing and pitching the marginalities within the binaries of oppressor and oppressed, this particular framework which we have been using, why not we move away from this into the explored areas of their individuality and celebratory moments, rather than focusing on say the suffering and such type of stereotyped concepts. So this is also one of the suggestions that I'm trying to give. So again, whether the oppressor oppressed, the master slave, the colonizer colonized, whether we have to sort of revisit these ideas and give a new focus to our research work. This is another to be or not to be, which I wanted to throw to my research scholars. The next point will be nation and narration. This is a very famous quote by Homi K. Baba. I think all the scholars are very familiar with this. Now we have an overall worldwide view that nations are undergoing paradigm shift and they are getting reconstructed once again as monolith structures. And there is worldwide political changes to be looked at not as a challenge to liberalism. And literature tells us that societies are in constant state of flux. So the way you look into the change, the paradigm, the tectonic shifts that are happening in the reconstruction of nation, it has to be reviewed again. So like when I was working on partition literature, my argument was the novels that came in the 50s and 60s related to partition literature constructed the nation as a monolith structure, but the novels that came about in the 90s or say in the postmodern era were all focusing on the heterogeneous or the multiple structures, the multiplicity of voices. Many voices were heard. So like this, the argument went around. But again, worldwide, towards, say, against the forces of liberalism, and whether a monolith structure of nation is getting constructed. So as students of literature, you should understand these particular changes that are taking place, but in the right sense. And in fact, why these changes had taken place, this is what I want you to focus on, rather than contesting these type of changes. I think students of literature should focus more on why these changes had taken place. For example, shall we say the liberal socialist ideologies that were focusing on social upliftment and welfare society and all those things. All these concepts, I feel, are appropriated by the contemporary governments and political systems that are prevalent worldwide, leading to, say, these types of monolith structures. And again, so for each and every concept that we analyze, I want you to look at it in a very argumentative and in a very logical manner, rather than making yourself fit into certain concepts or theories which you have understood in the past, say for example the binaries or something like that, and fit into that and look at it in a very pigeonholed manner. Don't do that. Okay, so this is one of my suggestions. And then the next point I'm focusing on is art for activism's sake. So there is a proliferation of literature of rights and resistance. I think all students and scholars who are listening to this, you must be very knowing, like you are very familiar with this particular concept of art for activism's sake that is going on around now. Now, we are not concerned about the proliferation of such literatures. It gives a wider scope for argument and understanding them as social issues. It is always there. We are not contesting that. But my greatest worry as far as this art for activism's sake in this particular idea that I'm throwing before you is that the challenge that we are facing with the literary genres. Because what has happened is the proliferation of the non-fiction writing had relegated all the other genres such as poetry, drama, and prose. Most of the scholars today are immediately taking non-fiction writing. I'm not saying they should not, the particular type of ways in which we are conducting these researches. In fact, in the last few years, you can even see that we are even moving away from fiction. we are totally concentrating only on non-fiction writing. I have some feeling like that. And the other genres are getting relegated. So as scholars of literature, I think we should focus more on the other genres, even if it comes like, even if let it be from the resistance or say the activist type of literatures. Why don't you go or select genres like say poetry, drama, and prose in the real sense. I mean that type of a prose. Why don't you go into that rather than going more and more into this, say, non-fiction writing? So this is one of the other suggestions I just wanted to make. And then the next point is I'm going to bring in a little bit of a theory myself here. I just wanted to talk about print capitalism. This is a particular concept which it is. And we all know that during the 18th and the 19th century, when the education system was just spreading throughout Europe at that particular point of time, it bureaucratized the education system, because like the print capitalism, everybody had a printed book. Only when you have the printed book, you can go to school. And almost all the other say forms, like say spiritualism, whether it is the Bible or every text, whether science and technology oriented text, everything started moving into this particular print section. So as a result of that, only the bourgeois as well as the upper middle class printed matter as far as the beginning of the education system in the 18th and 19th century is concerned. Now, recently when I was going through some of the disability studies and all those things, which is once again very much rooted in activism and rights based literature, I came across a particular concept there. One professor, Tanya Tichkowski, she is a disability rights activist and she is also a dyslexic. We all know that they will have some disability regarding reading and writing. She says that this print capitalism had actually streamlined uniform testing patterns, studying the same books, and also giving the same type of exams, and which becomes very difficult for the dyslexics to give the uniform type of answer which the boards which conduct the exam expects from them. So this is sort of excluding them from the society which we claim ourselves to be, say, the normal society. So she actually focuses on print capitalism, which totally rejects them or excludes them, people with particular problems of dyslexia. So I'm just giving you all these inputs to look at various ways of how we think about education, printed books and all those things as something which will relieve us from, which will enable us for social upliftment. But these printed books can be very much in the negative, work in a very negative perspective for say a person who is disabled. So when print capitalism bureaucratized the education system, the next thing we are actually moving on is to when we came to the media, the visual media, which was slowly replacing the print capitalism in the 80s and the 90s. And at that point of time also, many rights-based issue and all those things started coming out. But the print field was also really booming at that point of time also. But in the recent trend, if you are going to see, the print field had become so very what can I say? It is sort of not deteriorating. It is having its own, say, downtrend right now, especially because of this COVID and other things. Even before that, we can see that the printed field had been going down in trend little bit because of the audio visual media that had come into focus. Now, that is the second stage when the mainstream media, the audio visual media, the television channels were throwing challenges to the print media. Now we are moving on into a more, what can I say, the social media. Now the replacement is towards social media. That is, the mainstream video channels are now getting replaced by the social media. So what is literature, and scholars like you, how you are going to say pitch yourself in this particular context? This becomes very, very important. Now, when the social media had actually taken over, every voice every voice we are hearing now. And this is where I just wanted to put in the point that the in-between spaces that we have not, I will not say we have ignored, but we have not focused much during all these years in research, is now getting focused and is now getting voiced through the social media. So the margin, the center, as well as the in-between space, everybody's voice is now getting heard. And even in the margins, even from the margins, the voices which we have missed, or the voices which we have failed to recognize, everything comes through the social media. Now, even as I was telling you, the print capitalism which bureaucratized the education system, even today we can see in our society, many of them are not educated. But these people are getting focused through the social media. We use the term illiterates, or they don't know to read and write, but they can come and present you a very beautiful show or whatever it is in the social media. So you have to look into all these changes that are taking place right from the 18th or the 19th century, and how it affects our focus or perspectives in creating these critical theories or the ideologies or whatever it is. And once again, we can even look into the types of movements that are taking place in the social media also. I think one of the most famous one will be the Me Too movement, where we can say that it is something very much feminist or women oriented. Again, they focus on rights-based issues. And at the same time, if you look into social media, it also concentrates on, say, cooking, right from, say, the rich, the middle class, the bourgeois, the village side, street side cooking, both men as well as women, everything had gained equal momentum in the audio visual media. Whatever we had been contesting in the print media through, say, theories or whatever it is getting reversed, or say it is getting challenged very casually and very easily. As students of literature, we have to look into this. If you take a social media channel, for example, the cookery channel, you can see how many followers are there for a particular, say, a woman who cooks or a man who cooks. So once upon a time, when we were looking at, say, these cooking and other things as drudgery, had now become really very familiar shows as far as the social media is concerned. So very easily, what I'm trying to tell you is the social media is reversing the pattern of the theories that got created through the print media. I think all of you will understand this particular point. Why, as students of literature, we should look into all these things is that because you should know these are going to have direct impact on the literatures that are that will be created in say in the future, or even in the contemporary the literatures that are coming out nowadays. So this particular the audio visual impact of the social media thus plays a very major role, and in reversing the theories and say the other ideologies that got established through the print media. So as you have to look into these aspects also very carefully. The next point which I'm just moving on to will be technology and ideology. This is also a continuation of, say, the previous point which I was talking about, how the social media normally, when we write our thesis or anything like that, we concentrate more on social upliftment, education, employment, whether mostly when we talk about women's issues and all those things. And here, what happens in the social media is that technology is becoming, it is almost like, say, the equalizer in the society, and it is really giving space to everyone, and it is not the oppressed or the oppressor or the in between space. Every voice is getting heard in this social media. So it will be a very healthy trend if students of literature uh, have the ears to listen to all the voices. It is not simply that you're going to concentrate on one type of say stereotyped ideologies or other things that get focused, but you have the opportunity to listen to various and different types of voices. And as a result of this, I also feel the literature that comes out of this particular period, it is going to be, say, kaleidoscopic confusion. Once again, I am borrowing a term from one of the critics when he called the wasteland as a kaleidoscopic confusion. So, with all these voices getting heard over every other place, I think the literatures that are going to, the texts that will be produced in this particular period, it will become very difficult for you to fit them into any type of a theory which you have already known. It will become a very big task to you. So you have to develop your own logical way of arguing things, and try to learn the theories. I'm not telling you that you should not go for the theories and things like that. I'm saying that you should know all the theories, but it is time that we are not focusing only on them. Don't dump your literary texts into the theories and struggle. That is what I'm trying to focus here. So the it's going to be, say, literatures too will be served like, say, fast food, and it like the style uh, should actually appeal to you, and we don't know whether that fast food is really going to appeal to your taste bud, and whether it will give you the effect of a wholehearted meal, and it will be just a quick stuff that fills your stomach or your mind. So the shift from the print media to the social media is very important, I feel. And again, what I understand, or my viewpoint, is that the theories and the ideologies that were created during the print media domination had lasting and longer effect in our mind. Whereas whether in this particular period of social media, whether these things are going to have the very same effect is very doubtful. Because every other time when you throw a particular point, it gets challenged. Immediately you get, say, 10,000 views or something like that. So what is the guarantee that say the theories which were established in the past through the print media, whether we will get some established theories like that in the future, that also we don't know. And it is very doubtful. So that is the shift from the print to the mainstream visual, and from the mainstream visual to the social media. This understanding you should have very, very clearly. And then the last point which I just wanted to focus will be on intersectionalities. So when we are doing most of the literary analysis based on, say, activism and rights and resistance based literature, sometimes what happens is it becomes highly opinionated. And here what we can try to do is, accommodation is very important. As students of literature, we have to be more accommodative in just bringing into focus all the voices. We should learn to be more accommodative and accept contradictory opinions also. And here, one example I can just give for this intersectionality. When we had this particular issue on, say, Jallikattu, you can look at it in two different ways. When you look at it, say, from an anthropocentric manner, you can say that it is totally focusing on, say, how human beings are gathering together to establish the racial pride. But when you take the biocentric view, what happens is, are we denying space for organisms, living organisms? Because biocentrism is a very serious and very strong theory which wants to accommodate and give preference to all the living organisms, not only human beings. So like that, when issues are there, you should be able to accommodate the intersectionalities rather than looking at it from one single focus. You have to accommodate multiple focuses. You come to your conclusion after that, but let us not be opinionated. All these thoughts should be accommodated. This is what rather than being more opinionated, I think example I would about centrism, it reminded me of that. It had become very opinionated. And this particular aspect, I just wanted to focus because when you deal with concepts like biocentrism and deep ecology, biocentrism has its root in deep ecology. And what happens is they just write generalized sweeping statements against, say, development, capitalism, and all those things, even in a research work. But when we were doing thesis or research work, say, decades before, we never used should understand this particular point. So don't make any generalized sweeping statements against, say, capitalism or private property. So the argument should be more accommodative, I feel. And so when biocentrism talks about, say, living organisms, the rights for each organism to survive and all, we accept all those things. We are not denying that. But we should also look into how we have structured social upliftment. Suppose we take the case of marginalities. What do we give them as social upliftment? It is deeply rooted in materialism. We talk about, say, education, employability, and all those things. So without development or without uh, things, how are we going to say really uplift things that are running parallel? Accommodate both the ideas in your mind. This is what this is very true, no doubt about it. But it doesn't mean that you can pass some generalized statement about other things, because you have to look into how we have structured say the socio-political and the economy, or say upliftment of the masses. When we talk about gender equality or caste equality, about reversing the hierarchies, what we have done is everything is rooted in social and socio-economic upliftment. So when we have structured the upliftment with economy and materialism, then it becomes very difficult for us to say really become biocentric or whatever it is. So let us create say a path that is sort of uh, uh, in between all these things, and let us not be say opinionated on many of the issues that we are focusing. So these are some of the points that I just wanted to share with you. And don't just pigeonhole your literatures into say critical theories. Ask many questions, make logical arguments, and then you come to any type of conclusion. So this is what I just wanted to share my opinion with all of you. Now I think if you have any questions, or if you just want to even say contradict with my viewpoints or challenge my viewpoints, you are free to ask me. Sir?
Yeah.
Consultant.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Good evening, Dr. Chitra.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
A very
Yes.
interesting topic you have taken, Dr. Chitra. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I place some questions from the participants?
Yes, definitely, ma'am.
There is a question, ma'am. How to pitch ourselves in the recent scenario regarding research? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you. That is what I'm telling you. Like, don't pitch yourself within theories. I just want students to look in and around them, like what is happening in the society, what is the real scenario around them. And I also find in many of the research work, there is no focus on the local or say the Indian context at all. It is moving more towards say the Western type of analyzing the work. So it should be more focused on say the Indian context also, and look into your way of approaching that particular problem rather than fixing them into theories. So this will be my answer for that question.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. There is one more question. How can we avoid quotations being shown as plagiarized even when we have acknowledged the writer?
Yes. See, this is the problem like I faced recently with one of the research articles written. The Turnitin software, which the Madras University also, I think it uses the Turnitin software. There is a biggest disadvantage in this software is that it has just updated and uploaded all the online materials, not the texts, which we really go and search the text and we take quotations and all those things. It has just uploaded in its database only the online materials. So
Okay.
the recent scholars who had written the articles, what they have done is, as far as this Partha Chatterjee quote, which I was just mentioning you, they have paraphrased it and they have plagiarized. But the Turnitin is showing that that particular quote is the original, and as though we have quoted it perfectly, that as say a plagiarized content.
Oh,
I
fine, ma'am.
really don't know like how to troubleshoot this particular problem. It doesn't
Oh,
have a textual database. It has got
yeah,
only
yeah.
the only the journals that are available online. All the sources are listed in that, and in fact, it tells you with the author's name and with the name of the journal from where that particular thing you have. It shows like you have plagiarized. So you can go to
Okay,
that
ma'am.
original article and you can see. But when we went to
Sure.
the original article, which was published from, say, a peer-reviewed, so-called peer-reviewed journal in University of Bombay or something, that quotation was actually plagiarized. That
Oh,
particular scholar, she writes as though she had given that particular point. She hasn't even mentioned the name of, say, the critic Partha Chatterjee. I think you will
okay, that's
understand
fine.
my point.
Sure, ma'am. There is one more question from a student. Regarding social media,
Yes.
you have explained like the literature is visible. It's true, ma'am. Any theory particularly we say for it? Can you please explain? She has asked.
For social media, you mean? I don't
Yeah,
get it.
regarding social media,
Uh, uh.
you have explained like the literature is visible. Is it true, ma'am? She has asked. Any theory particularly we say for it? Can you please explain?
No, not theory. What I'm asking the students to do is, as we are shifting from the print media to the social media, and when print media is sort of going into the background and the social media gets into the focus, the literatures that come out of that particular period, we should look at it from that angle and not, we should not try to apply the theories that have come say during the print media period, come say in this modern and contemporary period, whether it is applicable. If it is applicable, okay, fine, you try,
Fine, ma'am.
and but not really, it won't be,
Okay,
it
okay,
won't
Dr.
be. Yeah,
Okay,
I really don't know whether there is any theory, but I have just traced the like say how the movement had been going right from the print media to the social media. I just wanted to explain them the difference. That is what I try to
oh,
do in my presentation.
yeah, that's fine, Dr. Chitra. There's one more question.
Yes.
Ma'am, recently, Crenshaw's theory of intersectionality is seen as the new caste system. What is your point on upcoming new theories?
Yes, new theories are always welcome. As far as I'm just giving my personal opinion here, what is a theory? For me, it is just an encapsulated form of giving you the trends that are prevalent in the society. For example, no, if you read Postmodernism by Linda Hutchin, she includes everything, the postmodern art, the dress we wear, all the trends are included in that. And of course, she gives a lot of critical analysis about historiographic metafiction and all those things, how to look at Rushdie's work. All these things are there. But
Okay.
basically, if you look at Linda Hutchin, it is sort of tracing the trends of that particular period. So now I think the students also should know how to look at the trends. That is why I'm
Sure.
telling, even in the marginalities case, we cannot be stereotyping the vulnerability part again and again. That is what post-feminism also was actually contesting. Don't focus upon women as very weak, like they cannot do anything like that. They did not want that type of a focusing. They wanted to be celebrated in
Oh,
post-feminism. So when we take
sure, ma'am.
marginalized literatures also, we should give more importance to their individuality and the celebratory moments. That is what I argued in my presentation also.
Yeah,
We
very
should
true,
move
ma'am.
away from that stereotyping of say suffering and all those things. That is my viewpoint, sincere viewpoint on that.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra. There's one more question.
Yes.
When theories are institutionalized, is it possible for research scholars
Yes.
who are mere part of the same institution to make this shift?
See, theories are not really getting institutionalized. I don't agree with that. It is the particular type of Indian mentality that we have in this academia. Like only certain theories are quoted, and only certain, even if you look into my own presentation, no, like only if I talk something about Benedict Anderson or something, I didn't use it that way today. But normally, when we drop certain names and when we drop certain jargons in the research, it is considered to be, say, a very high quality research or things like that. I think we should come out of that particular mindset and focus more on the content analysis. Like what is there in your poems? What is there in your the novel or whatever particular work you have taken to analyze? I think that is very important.
Sure, Dr. Chitra. There's one more.
Yes.
Symbolism of chair in literature. Is it a proper focus for research? It's a question from a candidate.
Symbolism of what? I didn't hear that word properly. Symbolism of?
Symbolism of chair. CHAIR.
Okay.
CHAIR. Chair in literature. Is it a proper focus for research? She has asked.
I can't understand the question, to be very frank.
Okay.
Is it a particular thing, a concept which they have taken from a theory or something like that? Or it is Ionesco's chair, some play or something like that? I haven't come
maybe a
across
presentation. Yeah. Okay, we'll just.
Or is she trying to say that chair represents something like, say, the
representation
of dominance and subordination? Might be. I don't know.
Maybe for power.
Power. Yes. True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then there is one more.
Yes.
How can we avoid quotations being shown as plagiarized? I think I asked this question, Dr. Chitra.
Yes, even I really wonder, because only when that research article I checked with the Turnitin, then this particular aspect I found.
Yeah, that question is a repetition. Yeah, that question is a repetition. I'm sorry.
Different universities, they use different softwares also. Like I think in Kerala, they use something called Urkunda something, URKUND. And it gives a different type of a report because they just attach it with the thesis also with the percentage of plagiarism, which look totally different from the Turnitin say that profile, like your plagiarism thing you get at the end of it in the form of a PDF. It looks totally different. I don't know like how they really take all these softwares, how they decide upon these softwares. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Chitra, more than the questions posed, there are raving reviews about your presentation, like good presentation, super explanation, ma'am, great session. Please share the screen. Nice and informative session, more accommodative and intersectionally very true. Wonderful session, etc. More than the questions, you have lots of reviews, feedbacks, positive feedbacks.
Yes, because I really did not want to take things from some textbook and just throw it to the scholars, because I want them to be more free in their approaches, not to say really be very rigid about certain things, whether it is ideology or say activism or whatever it is. That rigidity causes or say stops that free flow of thought also when you are writing a thesis. So I really feel that scholars should come out of that particular thing, and they should be very argumentative. They themselves can
Very good.
present the pros and cons of the particular uh, uh, criticism that they are trying to put in over there in the thesis. That is very important.
Okay. Now, one question has come from YouTuber, from Mansoor
Yes.
Wani. Can
Yes.
we republish our own published paper for better quality?
Yes, but
Can
I
we?
think, yeah, we can republish, but you have to sort of rework on the whole of the article. You cannot use the very same, say the content. You have to change the content and modify it with additional inputs, and then you can republish. That is possible, I think, but not the very same content.
Okay. Okay. There's
I
one
don't.
more from Vaishali RS.
Yes.
Just a small suggestion. How about conducting webinars related to UGC Net English?
Net, no, we normally in Bharati Women's, we conduct net set coaching classes that will be, say, within the campus. We have never attempted conducting them, like say in the form of a webinar.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think many of the, if they are participants in many of the Google groups and all those things, you get lot of webinars
Okay.
focusing on the net set preparation, and many things are coming out. And even in Chennai, I think there are many say institutions that concentrate on this net set prep, and now they also have moved into the online mode through Skype and other things. They are also conducting lot of quizzes, webinars like that, but they are not UGC sponsored. They are conducted by these private institutions.
Okay. There is one more from Anju Nair.
Yes.
Ma'am, you started with a question. Should
Yes.
we move away from the regular pattern? What is the regular pattern that you have suggested?
Yeah, by the regular pattern, I meant what we have been doing some, say, like we take a theory. And even if you look into the titles of the research that came some 10 or 15 years before, they will just say something like a phenomenological approach to the place of so and so, something like that. No, like the whole text, then what happens is the playwright gets fixed into that particular approach. So like that, you can find many theses that came during a particular period. And then when we moved on to employing selective theories to say pertaining to chapters or something like that, we felt little less stifled. So I think the candidate or say the scholar should take a very wise decision. Like I'm not saying or I'm not against the theories, but it should be brought into in a very sensible way. That is what I am trying to focus.
Sure, doctor.
Not for the sake of bringing some theory, it shouldn't be included. That is what I'm not. And trying to drag your text into that, and that type of a deliberate attempt, you please don't do that. It can be a part of your research work. It can help you to look into certain perspectives.
Okay, Dr. Chitra. Now, I think there is one more question. Good evening, ma'am. How to write a review of literature, she has asked.
Yes, review of literature is like, suppose you're going to take a particular, say, you are like, recently we worked on it, so I think I can give an example from that. We are looking into, say, the Tamil women writers of the colonial period. And and we are looking into the issue of widow remarriage. I'm just giving you the example, like what we worked out. So in the review of
Sure.
literature, what we did was, we are looking into all the women writers throughout India during the colonial period. Okay, that is first step. The second one will be, we are looking into particular issue that we are focusing, say, widow remarriage. So we are listing out all the materials, or all the say the novels or any other type of literature that were written by women during that particular, say, colonial period, that was focusing on, say, women's issue, or particularly, say, widow remarriage issue. Like that, you have to sort of say, step by step, you have to elaborate on the review of the literature of that particular period.
Yeah, sure. Sure. There is one more question.
Yes.
What do you have to say about adding social and political dimension to genre of the work taken up for research?
See, like, I really don't know how to relate the, what I was actually trying to focus today was, like, because we are taking more and more of, say, activism and rights-based literature, we are relegating certain genres. This is what my argument was. Many of the scholars, they never even go into, say, poetry or drama and prose in the real sense. Most of the time it is fiction, and now it is non-fiction. So I just wanted to, I'm not even, see, the most political statements are given by women through poems. But the scholars are not taking that. That is what I'm really worried about. Why don't you go into the poetry part of it? And even many dramas were written, many plays were written by women playwrights. Why don't we go into that? Why always this say, I'm not anything against non-fiction. I'm not telling that you should not do. But you will get a fresh focus if you shift the genre also. This is my personal view. When you shift the genre, I think you will get a shift in your focus also, because the approach to the poem will be totally different from the way you approach, say, a non-fiction writing, or the way you approach a drama. I think this is my personal viewpoint.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra. There are few students who are asking for tips on translation.
Translation, yes.
Tips on translation.
Yes, we face certain particular issues when we have taken Tamil women writers of, say, the colonial period. One of the novels which we are analyzing right now, it is not translated into English at all. So the key passages which we are taking from that particular novel, we have to translate them into English, and within the brackets, you can put it as, say, translation my own. The scholar can do that. For improving your translation, I think you have to do a lot of work on that. And even I haven't done any course in translation or anything like that. I'm still a novice, and I'm just doing it in my own way. The meaning should be properly conveyed. We have to be loyal to the text and say the content that has been given by the writer. That is very important. We cannot, so say, tamper with that.
Okay, doctor. One last question.
Yes.
What is your take on improvising on the theory from the text chosen for study?
Yes, from the text chosen for the study. Say like what we have been doing is like say simultaneously we are reading the text as well as the theories. So it strikes us immediately, oh, this particular point can be brought in here. And so like that, if you are very good in all the theories, then you can really bring in some very valuable points into the thesis. But after choosing the text, if you want to fix a theory for that, we can do that. But you should be a very prolific reader, and you should be
Sure.
yes, and you should know all the in and out of all the theories that had come during that particular period. Please don't go into the internet sources immediately.
Sure, sure,
Because,
doctor.
yes, because most of them are not reading the original text. That is why
Yeah,
the
that's there.
problem, they just take the Google summaries and they don't even know what is happening in the text. When you have read the text in and out and marked all the important passages, then definitely you can bring in your own analysis, and
Sure,
also
doctor.
you can identify some of the theories which will support your arguments. So
Sure,
reading the
doctor.
text in depth is very, very important.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Ramakrishnan sir, do you want to say something?
I would like her to, Beulah Bosco ma'am, to
Yes.
propose a vote of thanks.
Okay.
Then followed it by my concluding remarks.
Yeah, sure, Dr. VSR. On behalf of the organizers of the English Department, Presidency College, we would like to extend a heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to Dr. S. Chitra for this wonderful and erudite presentation, echoing profound ideas. There are raving reviews and overwhelming response from the participants. Thank you so much, Dr. Chitra. We are indebted to Dr. Devanathan, our principal, for the constant support and encouragement. Thank you, sir. Our special thanks to Dr. V.S. Ramakrishnan, Head of the Department of English, for making this event happen. Right from choosing the speakers, inviting them, reaching out for their photographs and profile, allotting responsibilities to the staff members and coordinating the entire event, especially during this lockdown period, is highly commendable. Thank you, Dr. Ramakrishnan, for getting all of us the desired effect. There is another important person who rendered technical and moral support right from day one of the event till now. He left no stones unturned to reach perfection. That is Dr. Rahim, coordinator of IQAC. Thank you, Dr. Rahim. Everything fell in places like pieces of mosaic on the floor intact with your care and concern. Our heartfelt gratitude to all the staff members of English for accepting various responsibilities like introducing the speakers, proposing vote of thanks, connecting the audience with the speakers through question and answer sessions, raising funds and contributing for the event. Thanks to all the staff members who kept posting the positive feedback and appreciation for the event through the department WhatsApp group. Our sincere thanks and appreciation to all the participants who involved themselves with interest and enthusiasm. And indeed, you people have made the event very significant and successful. We would fail in our duty if we forego thanking the Omnipotent for his blessings, which paved way for the smooth conduct of this program, which is our maiden attempt. Thank you all once again.
Good evening, everyone. See, after 5 days of scholarly deliberations, I feel it's like a dream come true for the department as well as for the Presidency College. First of all, I would be failing in my duty if I did not mention the constant support extended by Dr. Rahim. Every day he used to contact me on all these 5 days to make things manageable, to make the entire event go smoothly. So I salute you, Rahim sir. I thank you very much for your continuous support. Then I would like to thank all of my department members, my colleagues. See, they have given me a lot of encouragement. They did whatever work I expected of them, and they were the support behind me for conducting this particular webinar session. Then I need to place on record my sincere thanks to all the speakers, the resource persons, because when we decided to hold a webinar, there were very few days left in between, but all the resource person immediately agreed to take part in this. And in fact, I also thank them for their scholarly insights. And regarding the department work, see, no work could be done without the coordination of the staff members. I thank all the staff members of my department. Especially, I would like to thank two of them. Ms. Jiva John. He was looking after the financial part of this entire program. I thank her here. Then Professor Sasikala Devi, who was behind the designing as well as the printing of all the webinar related circulars, webinar related flyers, certificates, as well as daily posters you saw on the screen. So I thank her for her tremendous help in this regard. Now, I would like to thank all the participants from whom I have received a lot of words of encouragement every day through mail, through the chat box. See, most of them have even suggested some of the topics for us to continue with that, for us to have in our future webinars. See, I thank them all. And most of them, in fact, have been with us for all the 5 days. So they are from different parts of India. I thank all of you. I hope that you not only carry fresh memories with you, but also all of you would have learned something which we intended our participants to learn. And one more piece of, for me, I would like to place on record some of the problems we have also faced here. All these are technical problems. The reason behind it is that we are just now beginning to adapt ourselves to the new platform. That is the reason for such a problem every now and then you might have seen cropping up. I assure you that next time when we have the webinar, it will be highly professional. It will definitely be professional, and not only, already it was professional in the content. Okay, the presentation would also be very professional. And I thank the principal who has made it possible and who has helped us in a lot of ways to make this entire webinar series successful. I once again thank all of you for your continuous support and hope that all of us could meet in the same platform with different speakers, with different title in the days to come. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. One announcement from as per our schedule, those who registered on 31st July, they will receive feedback link within 5 to 10 minutes. We will send, and please stick on to the time schedule to use it, because to avoid the web trafficking, we will give time schedule when you use it within today. So we will send a feedback link for those who registered the webinar series on 31st July. And for all others, we will send it tomorrow. It is just to adjust the web trafficking, that's all. So this announcement, I think, sir, Ramakrishnan, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, somebody is asking your mail. Yeah, we will send mail. For each mail ID, we will send. For today, we will send for about 700 persons today, and the remaining will be tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We'll wind up the session.
Okay. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir.